So, one of the important aspects that I think should be in the Bible has a lot of very good things to say about almost everything. And those things are not just good, but if followed, they have a way of making life more predictable. And when you begin to serve God, we begin from a place of innocence, and purity of heart, mind, everything. At that point, the assumption is nobody goes to pray and think that you'll be pastoring the 7 people that have already driven you to the cave and back. But as life would have it, vision leaks. And one of the things that happens is not that vision leaks, visionaries break. And a lot of things come to your journey to break you so that you're no longer focusing now on the mission, on the vision. You now begin to focus on survival. And even as a visionary, you can become a scavenger, whereby you're overcome and overtaken by your own need to live. Just this week, I received a very troubling report of a pastor. While we are busy here preaching on Sunday, that pastor preached, said amen, went and hanged himself and committed suicide right at a bush not far from where he probably will be buried. And now the news of his death has moved faster than the news even that he preached that early morning. The cost of the burial and the funeral will probably be more expensive than what has taken him and hanged him on that cross or wherever he has hanged. And sometimes you see as a minister, that pastor, he's just like me, he's just like you, he's just like you here. He didn't wake up in the morning. Maybe, let me tell you, that was not his first sermon, nor his first trial. But people are people. People are people. I know the cost of his casket will be more expensive probably than what actually has put him on that, what pushed him to kill himself. And at that point, he lost sight of his family, his children. When people are suffering, tell them, think about your children. He says, I've always been thinking about my children. That's why think about the people that love you. Well, that love means nothing if it is scattered. Yeah? Come on. Sometimes you see challenges in the work of God and in the house of God, and you think it's because of shortage. It's because of people they're absent. They're absent. It's not that there's shortage. There's never a shortage. We lost Dad when there was a bit of opening. But when we lost my mom, there was actually very strict guidelines of even how many people should attend. And Pastor Muniu gave very strong warnings of people to attend and even defied him. And me, I don't come from Murang'a or Dendegwa or Kiamaiko. As we come from borders of countries, that if war breaks out in Kenya, we move to the next country. We come from far. We come from those places that it's far. Even when you fly, you need to have to drive an hour. So imagine anywhere in Kenya, there is an airport and there is an hour's drive. We come from far. And people were tiptoeing, not coming to resurrect. Not coming to resurrect. Not coming to add any value. So we were arriving there and was like, hey, pio mekam, singekosa. Hii nilisema taka nikukosana na pasi, acha tu tukosane. But the same pastor will call, hey, let's come for Bible study, and people will see, ndaona kuna baridi. And then we buried on a weekday, on a Wednesday. Travel was being stopped at, was it 7 or 8 p.m., that by 8 p.m. you sleep where you are. But very well, strong, driven people, and they were not coming to comfort me because I don't think I needed it. But that's the mind of people. Come on. That's the mind of people. And sometimes as a person who wants to serve God, because of the innocence of your heart, you believe that the people around you are for you. So you open yourself, you give yourself to them, you sweat and bleed. Yeah? And the assumption is that they wouldn't be around me if they are not for me. Come on. And now because you even have a vision, you begin to be like Joseph. One day stars will be bowing before me. They will organize that bowing, don't worry. You begin to be more, what they say, we want a vulnerable, is it vulnerable? Vulnerable. Leaders vulnerable. I remember one time, I don't know why, and people think I have issues, but I don't know. I don't have issues with pastoring couples, but pastoring couples have this drama that they bring about themselves. So who's my volunteer wife? So today, before come here, this is my volunteer wife. Charles lent him to us. So joyfully so. So you people don't know what my wife and I have been through. And I want to tell even our kids, even our, so that you just pay school fees or pay rent. Lazima tulie. And you can't give without tears. If I can just not preach, not prophesy the way you go to university, a professor downloads data and chases you home for school fees. You can't just follow that rule in life, that we don't need to create drama. Come on. Ama ni aje. Baka watu wanasema by the way manze hiyo siku nilimsikilia huruma kai. Actually tu nikaenda tu kwa hao nikatoa mbembe mbili nikapelekea pasi. They even made it worse. After so they came to see me. And I was asking them, so why cry? Why cry? You know, sometimes people don't know what we go through. So now that they know. So Bishop, what do you advise? Close the thing. Leave them. Whatever city they don't receive you, close the thing, move to where they receive you. Close the thing. Oh, so where will they go? Where have they been going? You are not important enough to attract anything. Close the thing. You go home, you go preach to your 2 children. You are already suffering. Rather than kusaffa stima, maji, tissue paper. Did close the thing and go. So I didn't think he'd take it seriously. So he literally closed it and left the country. And he survived. That's why I say I'm not very good with counseling. I'm good with guidance. Because the truth of the matter, if you don't protect your heart, you will lose the force of ministry. Hello. Are you listening to me? You will lose it. And so I just want to read something to us, and I hope and pray. You know, when Jesus was speaking in Matthew 24, I like how it starts from verse 3 to 14. Today I'll take you up to 9:50, so it's okay. So imagine mekam kwa Christ, because unajua vile people want to know about. Tell me about the future. Tell me, where do you see me 10 years from now? Nowhere. Tell me, sir, in the next 10 years, all factors remaining constant, where do you see me? Nowhere. Now as he sat, on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately. That's a trait some of you don't know. You don't know how to take advantage of. Learn some things are for private. Saying, tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? Come on. And Jesus answered and said to them, take heed that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and will deceive many. And you will hear of what? Wars. And what? Rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled. For all these things must come, but the end is not yet. You, the boys just broke one night, you've broken up. Hey, he has no future. Those are not even wars, those are rumors. The end is mambo bado. Rumors, those are rumors, them spreading. These are the rumors bado, those are not wars. Bado ijaanza. Bado akijaumana. When wars, you will hear, don't even be troubled. Hiyo bado no kionjo. For nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines. So you don't need a rich boyfriend. Jesus is telling you, if you're living in the last days, there will be famines. Pestilence. Mudavadis. In various places. All these things, again, are beginning of sorrows. I'm at my end. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. Those are beginning of sorrows. So if your heart, that's why Pastor wrote to Karibzuri, because that's made me the only thing that anything that can reduce the beginning of sorrows, because those are still the beginning of sorrows. Bado. Hey! You know, you began as a man after God's heart. Unajua vile ulikuwa unasema, Bwana, nifanye niwe chombo mbele zako. Tamba unasema mbele zako. Nifanye niwe chombo mbele zako. Nipe moyo msafi. Ni nyororo ama laini, whichever. Mweupe ulio bubujika, mkunjufu. Hizo mseme ni mzuri, but rumors am spreading. Rumors of war. Rumors of war. Unasema, I can't take it anymore. Unaambiwa bado, these are beginning of sorrows. You know, bila kila preacher anakuambia there's an end time revival that is coming. Because amepata 50 more people. There's a burst in the spirit. Let the baby breathe. Let this baby breathe. You'll kill the baby. Let this baby breathe. Let this baby breathe. Let free. Let the baby breathe. We have saved a life. Shaza kuambia unakula sana. Let the baby breathe. Loose that back and let him go. I loose you. Now the baby alikuwa na shaka. Hata sijafika, I'm hearing earthquakes, pestilence, rumors of war. Ashapigwa ngeta na hajafika. We had to lose him, man. We had to lose him. Somebody had to take charge. We had to make a decision. And the innocence of the baby, we could not allow. Okay, verse 9. Then, now you thought there were sorrows. then, me if you're telling me, so imagine you are dating, and then anambia, so tell us, where do you see us 10 years from now? Nakwambia, I see us in pestilence, earthquakes, nations rising against nations, kingdoms rising against kingdoms. No, that's the beginning. I said not 10 months, 10 years. No, wait, 11 years now. That's now where then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated. Why did I ask the question? And then you will be hated. And the way you're doing everything to be loved. You're walking side by side with your dear wife. You're combing your hair. You're not keeping beer. You're doing everything to be loved. But there's a prophecy against you. You will be hated. Who would sign up to live with a hated man? People are not even patient to even want to hear the story. People are not even, who signs up to be, then you will be hated by nations. Not neighbors, nations, that you will be hated. Now Jesus, I think you're stretching it now. I don't mind the earthquakes. So nations zitakuwa zishapigana, zikaboeka, zikanidiscover suddenly. Just when they've discovered me, they again begin to hate me. And that's why most of us cannot do evangelism, because you don't want to be hated. You think if you have a good flyer, a good poster, mpigane picha hivi, unafikiria, sisi, they will love us. You will be hated. There is a revival, there's a shift in the spirit, there's a burst of hate coming to the church. How come you're not saying amen? Because you've done everything to be loved. It's too much to apologize. Even me to kusema hivyo, tayari kuna mtashadi hate kwa church. Now I am not the pestilence. Yeah, pestilence haikumuuma. It's too late. Then verse 10. That's where we are. Then many will be offended. And will betray one another, and will hate one another. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. I want you to see, and because, verse 12, and because lawlessness will abound, what will happen? The love of many will grow cold. All these things are happening to make you cold. And that's what happens. Oh, you should have seen Pastor Manu before he was a philosopher when he was hungry for revival. Oh, people would pray. Unajua kwa natembea, you know Deliverance Church was as long as this, yeah. Watu wagetembea huko na tunasema unataka ukienda hivi urudi na new tongues, But you know what is happening? You begin now to meet and deal with people. And the more you mingle with people, you begin to become cold. And the enemy thrives there. You should know that the process, it wasn't getting through before you are offended. Before you are offended, the enemy could not penetrate that shield before you are offended. The enemy could not break through that shield before you are offended. As long as you are not offended, your love was hot. Come on. And the enemy will do anything to get you offended. The enemy will fight in all ways to get you offended. Come on. And that is why when you're serving God and you're a person who is easily offended and you're not careful how you interpret life, you are a person whose love turns cold very fast. And the thing about that era of offense is that when you have a community of people where their love is cold, they are lawless. Come on. Am I talking to somebody here? Am I talking to somebody here? The enemy wants you to be in a place whereby, every time you meet, the best people are never serving. They move to another church and say, I used to serve in this church, but I was hurt. So I have moved here so that I was hurt there. So I have moved here to heal. If you look at that story, it says, and you look at just how it goes, it says, and many will be offended. And you will discover false prophets never arise before the love of people grow cold, before they are offended. Come on. Come on. I used to think that, when Jesus said that, Paul is writing in Acts 24, and he says, wolves will come in sheepskin. I always wondered. I always thought that the wolves would come in shepherd's skin. No, the wolves, there are more wolves that look like sheep than wolves that look like shepherd. It is the person whom you think, this is a very good member. Like me, I used to think that if you explain more, people will give more. You explain. They will be eating, but then generally on a point it will make a sense. Because you are actually at a loss as a leader, because you can never derive from cold hearts. Come on. Am I boring you? He says, many will be offended. And then what happens? And many will betray. And many will hate. That's verse 10, Many will be offended. Many will betray. And many will hate. Wow. You want to tell me the person seated next to me? I thought the pestilence will kill me. I thought the earthquakes will kill me. I thought famine will kill me. Come on. I thought that it will get to a place that the world will hate us. I was always afraid of, I thought this and I thought this, and I never, I had a shelter when I was told the world will hate you. You know how when girls walk into the world, they grow up, you tell them, be safe, be wary of boys, and be wary of this, and be wary of this. We don't tell that to boys. We tell boys, you know what, you're a man, you got to be strong so that you can protect your woman. And then that woman goes and get a 3-star black belt, karate, 4-star jiu-jitsu, 5-star MMA. The next time we meet you, kichwa yake inaangaliaga hivi na bado uko hai. So tunashangana, hii msiba ulitokea wapi? How are they able to break your head na iangalie nyuma hivi? Because unfortunately, we have bred offense, because the most legitimate emotion we can never deny is anger. But it gives us the excuse why. we are offended. I don't mind the Beatitudes, but one always troubles me, that when you want to serve God, get ready to be despitefully used. People will use you. And as they are using you, they will actually feel you have wronged them. Hello, they will actually feel you have wronged them. They'll actually feel like, hey, come on. Is that not something? Is that not something? If you look at the story, the Beatitudes of Christ are the stories of Christ. When you look at how he deals with the subject of offense, and you even put Proverbs chapter 18 verse 1, you will see that. Put this. Proverbs 18:1. Am I boring you? You see, look at that. The reason why, once you are offended, the next verse, when you read down there, you will read of the isolation of desolation, the desolation of isolation. That now once somebody is offended, now you will isolate yourself. You are now communicating by absence, by distance. It is even very tough nowadays. The worst thing about church, I love the old church. The old church, there was no WhatsApp group. There was no WhatsApp group. Now there's WhatsApp group. I can create fire by just leaving 7 groups at once. Hey, Mona, Bishop ametoka group. And because you know very well, he itasumbua. You have not even, you are so absorbed. Put verse 1, 18:1. It says, a man who isolates himself has lost the desire of the kingdom, and he has now entered into his what? His own desires. And that is why the enemy wants you offended, because when you are offended, you actually feel like you're still doing something for God, but now you're doing something for yourself. And look at what he does. He rages against all wise judgment. Everybody trying to, you become volatile, you are explosive. Everybody trying to talk to you, or trying to rationalize, or trying to process this thing with you, it actually makes you angrier. Mnanitafutia nini? Na msinisumbue. Wisdom cannot penetrate a person once he has isolated. I've tried. Sometimes I do rescue, search and rescue. Yeah? And you'll always discover the first day is the day you had a choice. Our spiritual father, my spiritual, has never looked for me. I look for him. We looked for him. Unajua unasema ati I have not been to church for 2 days, amjanitafuta. You actually, usikii kenye unasema amjanitafuta. That's taken, sijakuwa hizo siku zote, sasa ndio mmenotice. You rage against all wise judgment. My friends sometimes when I watching animals, wanasema the lone buffalo is always the dangerous one, because inamaanisha ishatolewa from the pack, haiko stable. No girl wants to sex it. So it's there, iko na ito testosterone imetolewa kwa fellowship, kwa ushirika. So when it sits, everything it sees, it judges. How many gifted people are nowhere to be found because they started raging against judgment, but it all started by what? Isolation. It is, let me tell you, there is nothing that cannot be reconciled, but you begin to rage. Who is not going through things? Come on. Who is not going through things? Who can sit here and say, I'm going through nothing? Who is not going through things? But when you are in your own desire, you actually start feeling people don't care. Come on. And that's why I'm telling you this, because as you serve God, as you lead people, you know, we are about to, what Pastor News, we are about to go into fellowship life. And I was telling him, I love fellowship. I love small groups, because he was saying, we have become so big for us to be, anaangalia na niko na group Madhare, niko na group Thika Road, niko na group sijui Moyale. So he wants to feel like, hey, I cannot be in all these places, so we need to create a way of response and a way of relating. Come on. That's what he's thinking. But I told him, you know people, you break them into a fellowship of 5, they begin to say our circle. They have broken away now from the church. That if you rebuke one of them, they now begin to kusema, unajua, that's like my sister. Aye? And I told him, okay, more leaders will get the work done faster. But you know very well, you tell you are leading a group ya Komarok. I am the pastor. You are just the leader. Before long, and I will turn into my group. Wanaitana big C's, small bro, Kido, Hank. Sasa kaboya kajaitwa Hank maisha yake yote, huyu unaanza kumuita Hank. Si unamchanganisha? Joka country. Yamezoea. Sasa anaanza kuitwa hi Hank. Sasa ushaanza kumstar. So the next thing namwambia wewe na kubomoa hiyo sura, ujue mbona unakaa kama jua imeanguka. Anaanza kusema, oh, you know that you didn't even care about me. That time unauliza care, where did you learn that word care from? Who taught you that word care? Sabun ni mimi, kichana ni mimi, dai ni mimi, na yeye ni kijana, dai kwa nywele ni mimi. But something begins, because people begin to turn people into self-seekers in the name of, you know, even when you are sisters and you're under a pastor, your sister and you are not going to receive the same discipline. Come on. Amina kwa gaji. Ama niachi hapo. The truth of the matter is this: there are people who should not have been lost, but you will lose the mission. And now, as a pastor, in trying to avoid to be hated or to be this, you find that now you have been edged. You can't lead. Kuna sisi kama wamama, wakati ambapo Bishop ulikuwa unaongea, tuliona ni kama ni sisi ulikuwa unaingilia. Haya, wazee wamekuja. Unajua sisi kama wazee, tuliona ni sisi ulikuwa unaingilia, wazee wana matumbo. Jona na kama mzee Joe Bish tunaona pia sisi ni kama ni sisi. So ndaingilia nani? Nihubirie keyboard. Nihubirie nani ndo ndaingilia? Nipatie kitu ya kuingilia. Wamama ni sisi, wababa ni sisi, vijana ni sisi. Oh, see Sunday school children. Everybody feels like ni hao wanaingiliwa, because when the enemy wants to destroy you, he will make you rage against wisdom. You'll rage. Your anger, let me tell you, I have no desire to be rich. All my friends will die richer than me. I have, and I'm telling you this, the person who could have been rich for is rotting in a grave. So I have no one day, I have no desire to be rich. Because if I have a desire to be rich, what I need to do to be rich has nothing to do with this microphone and preaching here. It is not even a silent desire in me. Make me. All my friends will die far richer. I'll set the pace because if I let them to set the pace, well, they may not know where to start counting from. I'll set the pace, but I have no desire to be rich. None whatsoever. Come on. Come on. But I can tell you free. The easiest thing people do. Check out Matthew 5:21. If today I take a knife and stab Noah 36 times, what will you say? Holy murder most gruesome. Mnaniwatch kwa TV. Mnamo tarehe kifo chatagazwa wakati huu askofu huyo naye kapandwa na hasira kamdunga kisu. People actually in the natural world it is something worth watching on it's a series. You have heard it, that it was said to those of old, you shall not murder, and whoever murders will be in the danger of judgment. 22. But I say unto you, that whoever is angry with his enemy. Whoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of judgment. And whoever says to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the curse. But whoever says you fool shall be in danger of hellfire. 23. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, then you remember that your brother it is you to remember, not your brother. Then you remember that your brother has something against you. Verse 24. Leave your gift therefore and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, then come offer your gift. These are the things you don't preach. I said these are the things you don't preach. It's always my season is over. I'm in my next move. Thank you, Percy. Come on. Come on. These are the things we can't preach, because when you want to preach these things, people begin to feel like you are stretching it. But when you come to that, I tell my friends, and I've always told these people, we don't argue. I don't argue with Pastor Muni. We don't argue with. I don't argue with my friends. Come on. Luke chapter 6. I can stop there. I want to tell you these things because your heart will break, and if you're not careful, people will break it and they will deceive you. And the problem is that when you have so attached yourself horizontally, you may lose the vertical grip. Come on. I'm trying to sit down and write a book. It's only that maybe I'm not healed enough. Healed in the sense that I find the brutality I'm writing with is the truth of what I have seen. Come on. People are not what you see. Come on. People are not what you see. And because we spiritual people assume that people are suffering because there are no good people to help them. I can tell you, all suffering can be traced to indiscipline. The wisdom is there, the practice is not. I'm a discipline in nini. It is wisdom that is not practice. The wisdom is there, but there is no practice. So you may assume akia nani, manze na vile nani wangampoa, na vile nani wangampoa, na vile mimi nilishaacha. Kwanza mimi nikiona watu wazuri wanasafa, najua sio mtu mzuri. We were just here. A boy, we picked him. I don't even know where they picked him. They just picked him. No, he didn't last here 3 weeks. He stole the camera. Now, the day we catch up with him, the mother will be saying, "Whoa, Msalimiani, whoa." We have to now hire a camera for somebody that we were helping. For somebody that we were okay. We have had that camera, and I'm the one who bought it with my own money. Now the boy, we picks it. Come on. Ama niaje. And in his world, he thinks nimeomoka. Luke 6:22. Let me say this. I'm telling you this because if you're not careful, the last part, it says, then this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached. Everything is happening to turn your heart cold that you stop preaching the gospel. Everything is happening so that you stop honoring the people. It says, blessed are you when men hate you. You see, this is not a level of blessing. We think every pasemwapo hapakosi na pakikosa hapasemwi. Hizo misemi za kifedhuli toka huko. Hizo ni nini? Kiswahili ulipata 17. Na sasa unataka kuitumia, unajua wahenga walisemwa pasemwapo lipo litase. Hizo ni nini unasema? Blessed are you when men hate you. And look at this, when they exclude you. Umejisikia, jana sijui nani alikuwa, I wish they never called me, they never told me nilitaka. When men exclude you, when men revile you, look at this, and cast out your name as evil. For my name's sake, let me tell you, if I was not a pastor, most of you would not have known me. You would have been working for me in my plantation. Hakuna mali tungekutania, wewe tunakutania na wewe wapi? You can't stay focused a month. You are weak, you are petty, you are small-minded, you are a groupie. There is no human reason why thou and thine should dine. No reason. Hakuna vile tunaweza kutana. Never. I never wanted to be small in anything. So there is no way we could have met. Even when I was not a very good Christian, I never was in a tumepepea, tumeenda, no. So chances are vile tumekaa hapa ndio kumekaa either kwa reception, kwa plantation huko kilima, kula whips, ukinikamulia mang'ombe, ukinikatia tiketi ya ndege, ukiniserve chai kwa ndege, either commercial ama I have owned my own. Yani, if my ambition was just, there is no reason why we could have met, because estates atuge kutana. Verse 23. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy, for indeed your reward is great, for in like manner their fathers did to the prophets. But woe to you who are rich, for you have received your consolation. Woe to you who are full, for you shall hunger. Woe to you who laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. Endelea. Woe to you when all men speak well of you. For so did their fathers to the false prophets. You know me, whenever you're rebuking people, let me release the online church. Sometimes when you're rebuking people, they go and sit with others and say, oh no, naje. But they wanna make a lot of sense. But mini nyuki nyini inzi. What makes sense to you and what I'm telling you is not the same thing. The truth of the matter, huyu mtu mwenye unatafuta hekima yake, ameiapply wapi? You know, if you start asking that question, before I ask Gaba unaonaje? Zach unaonaje? Before I ask you, Zach, where have you applied? So that I don't just bring my emotion. Sijakuona siku mingi, I'm hurting. Mbona siwezi ongea? I'm not yet ready to talk. I'm not ready to talk. Then October 37th, 2096, unasema, Zach, can we talk? Zach anakaa, tumekaa sasa tunao. So when we are talking here, by the time we are talking, one, you have lost time. Two, this thing has taken over. That thing that could have been discussed at the corner now need to be discussed as a therapist. Come on. And the problem is that many of us, very promising people, the only thing that will bring you down or will separate you from a community that could build you up is that you are easily offended. That's the only thing. Hakuna kitu ingine. Hakuna kitu. You can survive poverty, you can survive sickness, you can survive this, but you are easily broken. If I used you the way mutumia Charles ka example hapa, ngekushana kwa kanisa ingine, I want to go into a church where I'm not known. I want to go and be a backbencher. It's not a gift. It could be a mindset. Yatukwenda tu mahali church nijifiche huko nyuma. Sitaki usoro. Ama ni aje? So mimi nakuombea, anywhere you want to see progress, people must beat this thing. Offense turns to betrayal, it turns to hate. And now when that hate comes, it makes you a false prophet. Auje notice mtu offended wana courage ya kuongea kuliko mtu sasa zile alikuwa loving, hangeza hata preach ya soul moja, lakini acha akwe offended. The church we want, the church should be audited so that the church, but sasa zile alikuwa anapenda. When love grows cold, it makes you a false prophet. You become a false, even the realities unaona, zile vitu unaongea, zile vitu unaona ni real, ni vitu tu zako unajionea. You cannot work with me, kama ama stay with me, na nisiku offend. Why? It's my gift. It's my gift. I've just saved Karen's life, but she can choose to be offended. Yet it was search and rescue. We had to stop an apostolic meeting, dive down there, and come out with something. Tukasema, let Ruben leave. Loose. But you can walk around and choose to be offended. Hello? You can walk around and choose to be offended. Why don't we release? Thank you very much, guys, for giving. And the giving numbers are there. And those of you who are supposed to be here, you should be here. Not getting here, you should be here. Amen. So thank you very much, online church. God bless you. Amen. Is that okay?